All right, so today's video, we're watching a Gold 5 DPS on PC. They say that we started on attack, doing well, getting kills here and there as I went behind enemy backlines to harass them and make a distraction. I thought this worked at first, so I kept going for this strategy most of the game. The thing is, we started to struggle on second point, and third point got difficult. I was going to say third point's going to be really tough, because it's on Route 66. We managed to get it, but then reality kicked in on defense, and we got stomped. After that, a teammate said DPS target priority is bad, so I tried to change this aspect for the rest of the match. Well, I'll let you know if your target priority is bad. I got you. Yeah, I think it's just regular maintenance. Okay, sorry, I took the wrong button. All right, here we go. Good job going for the res. I get the idea there. Okay, so a lot of what you said you did is exactly what you want to do. A lot of backline pressure on their team because, like, if you just sit there... Yeah, I mean, that kind of was a good hinder right there, but it wasn't, like, good enough. I'm waiting for you to go backline pressure. It will happen. It also helps when you have a Widow hitting shots. See, like, I already, like, okay, so... Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that to start, but I definitely want to see you be a little bit more aggro. I think if you end up, like, defaulting into this playstyle eventually, it will not be good, especially on defense. Okay. What rank is this? Gold 5. This is much better, by the way. Setting up for, like, a slight flank. You also have walls, so, like, you know where they are. I like this. This is good. Good idea. That's what I'm talking about, right? That's what Venture can do. They can pop off like that. Brilliant. Thanks to the 23 months of the Feature Prime sub. What is the current meta? Isn't it Diva? I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't really watch. I have no idea. Is it? I don't think it's Diva. Diva's good in ranked. For sure. Nice job. Good target. Target priority is okay so far. Oh, that was good. Like, after you had, like, your first start, you've gone on the right heroes. Now you go for the Mercy. I'd be careful of just hide. Yep, you have plenty of opportunity just to hide. There you go. I was gonna say you can't be healed until... Nice! Yeah, this is fine. So far, so good. You're playing them fine. Okay, so you said second point was a struggle. I want to kind of point out to... you right now what you're doing a little bit wrong is... You're now sitting on the cart again. So, like, second point became a little bit more difficult for you, right? Well, a lot of that is, like, you're just sitting on the cart. And when they can see you as Venture, like, when they see where you're at, it's a lot easier to get them. It's, like, so much easier to get Venture. So, you need to have setup time. There's no, like, when you're playing a flanker like this, there's not going to be much downtime for you. You have to, like, get ready to go in and, like, take your map control and the timings that are given to you. Right? So that if you wipe out their whole team or, like, they're not in a good spot, that's when you take advantage of that. So, like, right now, you're technically going to be in a good spot, but if you end up, like, falling back to peel here... Actually, the soldier... Never mind. Their soldier decided to run into your team like that, so you're good. But basically, setup time becomes so important for flankers. If you're playing a hero like Venture, if you're playing a hero like Genji, Tracer, etc., setup time and being in the right spots is how you do that. You don't just sit AFK in the cart and, like, hope that they come to you. You need to be, like, really annoying in their backline, and then you can use your movement abilities to get out to go to your team. That's why it's so important to do that, because if they see you use all your abilities in, then they have a little bit of follow-up time on you. So, like, right now, I want to see you, like, go top right. See where the Winston just went? Go up there right now. And then rotate up there. Yes. Now, don't worry about the Winston right now. The Winston will end up dying here, so don't even, try to go for them yet. Like, you're good. Now, stay on the high ground. Okay. You don't have your movement cooldown now, so now they can go out of there for free. You see why I was trying to get you to set up the other way? Right? The reason why I was trying to set up the other way for you is because you would have been able to prevent half the ultimates you're doing right now by just having your ultimate up there. Instead, you had to go for the Winston and end up going back there. You gave up your high ground control, and now you basically have no limbs. Do you see the problem here? Right? So look what happened. Like, I mean, it's kind of working, but I feel like you made this really difficult on yourself and your team. I really think that you could have blocked that whole doorway high ground with your ultimate, and that's it. Like, they go nowhere with that one. Good job on the flank there, though. Yep. This is the part I'm talking about where you have setup time. Unfortunately, the one thing you did wrong was you used your cooldowns again to go all in, and that's what happens. You said they're holding on to the ultimate for way too long. I mean, I can agree a little bit. I will say when Orion's there, it makes it a little bit more difficult to do. So, Reinhardt is one of the easiest heroes to counter Venture ultimate with. So if their Reinhardt even has remotely any sound on, they're probably going to counter it. So I can understand being a little bit safer with your ultimate at a certain point. I would have liked them to use their ultimate prior when the Brig had ultimate top right. Before their Brig ulted, they would have been able in a good spot, and they would have been, like, harder to get an Elim, is what I'm saying. So this is why setup time's so important, right? Because a lot of the other stuff here, so. What else do we have here? Gianni, thanks for the give me the vote. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. This could be a bench roll. I can see this happening. Okay. Wonderful. Now, third point is where you'll struggle. Nice ult. Good ult. Good ult usage. Let me rephrase that. Not necessarily good ult usage. Well, it was a good ult usage, but, like, good ult. I would have liked to see your ult. You probably could have had 2 ultimates by now, but, yep. Here we go. They got rolled. Well, third point's gonna... Like, third point will be bad for Venture if you can't do your flanks. Like, right now you want to go top right. No, you don't want to wave at a Widow. You want to go up top right. Top right. Yes, yes, yes. There you go. Step 1. Now go all the way around for a second. See where they're at. Okay, you see their Sojourn. Now what's your next play? Let's set up. I think... Okay. One thing that I think... And even I struggle with this as a flanker sometimes... Like, any flank in here. I want to pause right now, because I think this is a good opportunity to kind of talk about this. The one thing about flankers that both you and your teammates need to understand is that setup time becomes extremely important. So what is setup time? Setup time is like you need to get to your spots and you need time to get there. You can't just run it down mid. This is also why third point flankers lose a lot of value, right? Like, you go, well, what do you mean? Like, look where they're playing. Well, yes, that's also a part of your hero selection on this part of the map where, like, you're going to struggle in a lot of moments unless your team is rolling, right? Like, unless you're absolutely annihilating them and making these really cool plays, etc. Like, that is where you're going to struggle quite a bit, right? So, at the same time, if you are going to play a flanker on a map like this, and Venture is one of them, you need to, like, be patient with your setup time and, like, give yourself time to set up. Otherwise, you run into situations like this where they're constantly, like, able to kind of just disengage away from you. Although this is kind of the correct way to play it. You just kind of did it a little bit in an interesting route. But, like, it works because you've done what you're supposed to do as a flanker, where you get them away from you, away from this part of the map, and they're more forced into your team. But just remember that, like, it takes setup time. So the point I'm making is both for you and, like, your teammates or people. If you have, like, a flanker on your team, this could be a Wrecking Ball, this could be a Venture, a Genji, a Tracer. Sometimes they need, like, an extra couple seconds. But players feel like they have to be involved in a team fight constantly, that, like, they won't play a hero optimally because people are so mad if you're out of the team fight for 10 seconds. So, like, oh no, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? So just remember, be patient with your flankers. It takes time for them to set up. And if you give them time to set up while also giving them a little bit of pressure on, like, the front line, it will result in good things. But it takes a little bit of time. It's a little bit of patience. Here we go.
Yeah, we're outnumbered.
After seeing that Sojourn, what she had done, they could have went around the other way. Like, kind of like, I don't know if horseshoe is the correct way. So, like, they see you up here, you can also horseshoe it a little bit. This actually makes them a little bit more distracted. So, like, you see how it's like a kind of like a horseshoe, and you go around like this. That's a very safe route, which is also setup time.
Helden sterben nicht. Heroes never die.
Hey, at least you came in from the flank, right? Good play. I like that. Taking away the back flank on them. Nice job. Good. You played that well, by the way. I like that. Taking away the angles, making plays across that in general. I actually like the way you played that. That was well played. Good job. Especially with how much, like, room you have here. That was a good play by you. Okay, they gave me the advice, chat. I'll look right after this one. All right, good job. Ended up being a good third point there. Be careful of standing close here. Setup time. That's why I didn't want you to be on the low ground there. You want to be in a setup spot. Maybe you said this is where you need to really understand setups and how let me give you an example. You can hide here. You can literally go to spots where you just hide. This is okay. Obviously people go on the outside here, but imagine if you sit here as Venture and they don't see you. Someone goes on the outside, boom, off the map. Just like that, right? Boom. Tough start here. I like your approach there better. And just to point out again, when you're playing Venture, I really like your approach of going for flanks like that. I think that's the play you want to do. So, good job there. Much more on their back line, bringing pressure backwards is what you want to do so that the way they turn around.
Hostile forces are pushing the payload.
Wait for it.
Muchísimas gracias.
Do. Remember, a little bit more aggressive on flanks. There you go. I just like when you play more like this because I think this will lead to better results for you than if you just sit there behind your tank. I just want to get you in the mindset of, once again, setup time. Uh-oh. Damn. We go again. Tough one there. Big slam. Well, second point's been tough, but here's why second point's tough. Let me explain this to people, because I haven't really been doing a good job of explaining this part of it. So the reason why your second point is so tough is, once again, if you're not doing setup times and putting yourself in good advantageous spots on the map, you need to understand that with Venture, you can't fight them straight on over and over again, right? And you need to start taking routes that will be beneficial to you. So even though you see a Rhine here, if you go here prior to go out here, you can get out and escape them. If you go out this way, or you end up doing the same routes, you get rolled. Remember, you're a flanker. You don't want to frontline them and battle them that way. Okay, remember setup time.
Ready for transcendence.
Yeah, you had the right idea. You had the right idea. You had the right idea. No. You had the right idea. I wanted you to flank that because I think they're not going to see you on this play. Even if you go for an outplay here, I think you're setting up for one. Nah, maybe you aren't. Okay. So I want to show you something. We're not gonna. You didn't get rolled there. You didn't fall over, but I want to kind of talk about this whole sequence. The one thing that I really liked about the way that you played this, or not played this. Let me rephrase this. The one thing I would have liked you to do is you go for the flank, because when they can see you doing that, it's a lot easier, right, for you to get rolled and seen during your play. But if you go for a flank, you can make a lot of a quicker play, and you can do more aggressive plays. But when they see you, the surprise, what makes Venture so good is they can surprise your team and just get somebody and get out. But when they see you, they can react to you a lot easier. So instead of you going in on a flank, starting to pressure their soldier, they overreact, and then you get a kill. You're going to get a better experience than running into their team with your movement ability. They blatantly see you, and then you get rolled. So you got to be a little bit careful of how you play that one. You know what I mean? So. I like this ult. This ult I like. There's no Ryan in front of you. That's by the way, great job there, because even though you're not quite in front of them, you're more on the flank side. That right there was a great play by you. Nice job. I like that. Wasn't it directly in front of them? Was that a side angle? Good job. Good usage of your ult, and recognizing the Ryan's not there, even better. But now you have to be careful again. Now go set up again. Go up top right. Go up top in the boxes up there. Go top left. Just go somewhere that's not directly in front of them. All right? Okay, so first of all, big slam. Second of all, do you see what happens when you go right in front of them? A lot easier to shatter a Venture when you're playing like you're a Reinhardt. Would such an aggressive tactic not provide some distraction for the rest of your team to push in? Okay, so are you saying, just so I can understand what you're asking, are you saying that play where they went into their team Wouldn't that distract them? Yeah, but like, think about this. What is a better distraction for like a team, right? The Venture going in and them having a vision of your whole team in front of you, or the Venture going behind, them turning around, and now as they're turning around, your team's pushing in. Do you see where like it's a better play overall when you can kind of create that flank aspect of Venture, and then you can make the same escape if you need to that Venture did? Do you get what I'm saying? So like, yes, if they go in there, if you go in there, yes, you're going to distract them because they're going to look at you. But when you go behind them, their reaction might split them more. They might have to look behind them more. And then your team can push in and then make the play. That's why it would end up being a much better play to do that. Like, yes, like you're right in the sense that if you go into them, yes, of course, they're going to be distracted. But the distraction you're going to get from when you flank them is going to be way better than that. Is basically what I'm getting at. That's why like I want to get them in the mindset of going on these like type of flanks. And the best Ventures or the best flankers you deal with are the ones that you never see, but they're always there. Does that make sense? I know that's a weird way to explain that, but like that is the best way I can explain this, playing against like really good top 500 like tracers, and you know, there's actually a really good Venture player in top 500 does a lot. Basically, you're always like the best flankers, and like the ones that are so hard is the ones that are there, but you never see them, but they're always there. It just they're always just being annoying the whole time. So Sombra can be like that too, yes. Doorway over here. They're pushed up. You see the cart. Doorway's here. Why are you going into the front where they're all at? Do you see the problem? Once again, you're taking these routes you're taking are like scuffed. Go this way. You can even go onto the ground and rotate around. They know you're here. The existence of you being there, they're like, wait a second, we might get rolled here. Don't do that type of play. You just end up in front of them. Remember, should Soldier flank? Soldier you can get away with flanking, but like Soldier's playstyle is more of like pop shot, and you shoot a couple shots and you run. I know that seems weird, but like that's the playstyle as you climb. See, you can flank as a Soldier, but like it's not necessarily recommended. It really depends on like, that is a decision you have to make in real time. I can't just like tell you to do that. You know what I mean? It's a little bit easier on Venture to tell you to go on the flank because the playstyle is promoted that way. Soldiers, like you kind of leave it up for interpretation on what you do. Okay, so like I watched you go to them in front 4 team fights in a row. And listen, I know that you're like kind of like, I'll give you like the last team fight, like that one's kind of unlucky. But like I really need you to understand like how much pressure you can put on their backline by just going into their backline without running into them. Like you want to play more of a hide and seek play style. If you end up just sitting here constantly running into their front line, you're not going to get the full value. Even if you like have like good plays occasionally doing that, I am telling you right now, the most annoying Ventures to deal with in this game are the ones who are constantly flanking, constantly going for like aggressive plays in the back line, and then just disappearing out. Happens so much and so hard to deal with. But when you go in front of them, it gives them so much time to understand and process the play that's happening in front of them that you're just going to fall over eventually. Right? They're watching you use your important cooldowns in front of them.
Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Go up. I want you to, like, here. Ready? I'm gonna show you something. Here. Okay? Now, this is where you're going to run into an issue. Maybe you can't cross here. You can use your cooldowns to get over here. What does this do? It pulls pressure. Imagine if you're over here as Venture right now, and you're shooting at them. What are they going to do? They're going to turn for you. What do? You then back away. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like the rotation? So, like, rather than sit here on the front line, whether or not you win this team fight, I want to show you where you can get very similar results. You ready? Go through here. Underneath, you make noise, start shooting at the Ayari. They start looking at you. They get distracted. You make your way here. You start shooting at them. Boom. Now you have a flank. Oh, the Soldier looks at you. Now you rotate up. Now you're behind on a Bastion. That's one shot. Or there's a Mercy here. They're looking at you. Your front line now has the pressure. Do you see like this, like how this could be like the way that you play this? Right? This will enable your teammates and also help you get a lot of Elims. Like, you have so many ways to rotate around. Oh, wait, you got 2 Elims and you want to help win the team fight? Now you can go in. You can use your right click to push them in, right? You see what I'm saying? You can displace them. So, like, this is the things that you can do. Heck, if you really want it, you can just go here and try the same thing. I wouldn't recommend this because you end up getting a little bit angled here. But, like, the point I'm making here is these are the plays you want to go for. You don't want to end up constantly going here. Okay? Does that make sense? So, that's why I'm trying to showcase to you a lot of, like, what you're doing wrong on those flanks. And I think that if you improve on that side, you'll be in a good spot. Yep. Hey, this is your timing now. You can rotate around. This is your timing to do that rotation. I mean, you kind of went there that time. I liked it. That was a little bit better, see? I'm telling you, this could have been so much easier, though, if you went the other way. So, yeah, just, like, keep that in mind when you're watching this VOD back. Like, I think you'll start to see, like, really good improvement out of you when you start to make those plays. I think you're going to get way more value at that point. Seriously. You think Soldier got a recoil buff recently? I don't think so. Wasn't that, like, in, like, a... Maybe there was a mode where, like, that happened, but not in, like, the live game. You know the escape routes? Yeah. I mean, knowing the escape routes is good. Also, knowing how to get behind them is good. Both of those will help you become a better adventure player and a flanker at that in general. If you decide to play Tracer or Genji or Sombra, like, you'll understand a little bit more what to do. Like, even here, you're technically behind them, and I want you to understand what this is doing for your team. They kill you there, but do you notice how everybody was distracted by you being behind them and it alleviated pressure elsewhere? Was this a clean play? No. But, like, do you see what that does for your team? You have now won a team fight where they were so distracted by you being behind them that your team was able to do whatever they wanted. And then you win the team fight. You get what I'm saying? So just remember that, too. Okay. For Moira, I have a few VODs with Moira. I would recommend just checking my YouTube out for that one. Because, like, your play style could be different, right? So... Alright, here we go. This is an interesting 1v1. You don't see that every day. A Life Weaver versus Mercy 1v1 in the back line. Now you're finally set up in a spot that's not right in front of them. Oh, if you could get behind them top right, I'd be so happy. But you're staying so involved in, like, this side of the map. It's just like, ugh. I would, if you could get top right control, I'm telling you. Because you can just sit up there and they'll, like, look at it this way. A Reinhardt should not be able to just run at you in this type of situation and get a kill on you. Like that, if you're dying to a Reinhardt, that becomes the problem.
Stop the payload.
Honestly, I kind of like what you just did there. At least you went into their backline. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase this. I don't like the route you took. I like that you ended up on their flank. I don't like the route you took. I think, once again, you have, like, so much availability to go do these, like, crazy plays on flanks that I want, like, I'm just showing you spots you can go to. Like, if you want to really be, like, you can go here if you really want to, too. Like, there's just spots you can go to that I think will be more advantageous for you as a player. All right? So just be wary of that. You're back in there, here again. Like, you're going on the flank, but like I said, it's the route you're taking. Get out. No, just get out. Or hide. One of the two. Your teammates are back now. That Soldier you can isolate. You should not die to Orion as a Venture. They should not see you. Actually, I mean, you can still die to Orion as a Venture. We know what I mean. Yeah, you're sticking with your team too much. You're not even making them have to think about the pressure. This Rhine, that should not happen. Like, that Rhine should not be able to do that. If that's happening to you as Venture, that means your positioning is completely off. You know what I mean? The Rhine isn't even following up on you after you engage their team. The Rhine is following up on you wherever they want because you're not playing like as a flanker. You're just sitting there. So just be wary of that. Good res by your Mercy. Yes, this is good. For a second, go under. Honestly, I'll give you. I'm gonna give credit to that Rhine. That Rhine actually did a good job following you that time. Like that time, I actually think that was more of the Rhine just being very aware of what's going on and doing well than that was like you technically being in a bad spot. Although once again, a lot of this stuff gets saved, in my opinion, when you are set up all the time and you're not set up like ever. So that's gonna be a big part of your game. Do I do support? I do everything. Yep. Oh, I know they're focusing the tank too much. I mean, that is a part of it. But that like, just to add to that, like, they're not going to focus the tank if they go on flanks because the tank usually won't be there a lot of the time. So, like, the reason why they focus the tank so much now is because, like, that is how they're positioning themselves. If they were going in, like, if they were constantly setting up and going behind them and making plays, they just wouldn't be on the tank as much, right? It becomes really difficult to get on that tank consistently because the tank is going to be further up on those flanks. So this is a part of just their position. That's why I think that will be their number one thing to fix. Wait for it. I mean, at least you made him turn a little bit, right? Nice. I think your team's going to win this, so that's good. All right, good job getting the win. All right, but yeah, so just to kind of circle back on all this, I think for you, it's really just going to come down to what we talked about, your setups. If you can set up a lot better and go for like really cool plays like that, I think you're going to be in a very good spot. I really think that's all it's going to be for you. Mechanically, I wasn't even too worried about like your follow-up and like getting kills. I think you're just not setting yourself up in good spots. So really, really start to look for those flank routes that I was talking about, right? Really start to do that. I think that's going to be your number one thing. I think target priority becomes a lot easier when you're not constantly just have a Reinhardt in front of your face. And that's because you're going into their Reinhardt. Enough of like the going in front of them and doing that. I mean, you can do it occasionally. I want you to start to really set up and like when you play a map, think about, okay, I can go here. This is going to be a flank spot. I can escape here. I can distract this way. I'm going to use my cooldowns to get out. I'm not going to use them to get in all the time. And you do that, you're going to be in a pretty good spot. I actually think mechanically you can climb. I think now it's just about setup time. So work on your setups, work on like your flanks. And yeah, I mean, you know, obviously in a few months, if you want, resubmit for a Where Are They Now series, and we'll see if you've made those improvements. Because I think if you make those improvements, you're going to see a steady climb. I think you can do this. You got this. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't, leave a comment. All of that helps. If you want to submit your own stuff for like spectatings, etc., my Discord would do that. That's in the description below. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat below the webcam. Stop by. We have a lot of fun. And with that being said, I hope you have an amazing day/night.